Happy Scorpio. It's your girl, JV. I breezed this. Back at it again. The general tarot reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Gemini season 2021. Scorpio, it feels really focused when I lean into your energy, and I think that's like necessary. As you know by now, Patreon is getting everything first. Be sure to check out your Sun, Moon, and Rising. They're rolling out slowly. For daily tarot readings, check out my Instagram, justjeverything, and for other dope shit that I do. My website, justjeverything.com. So, when I lean into your energy, it's very like, welp. I guess that's that, like that kind of energy. Like, especially after this full moon, lunar eclipse in Sagittarius that happened, there's just like some things that you just know now. And your two ruling planets aren't happy. Pluto's retrograde in Capricorn until October 6th. And Mars is in fall in Cancer. So there's some major self-reliance that's needed and that's rising up. And on June 5th, Mars in fall in Cancer will be opposing Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. So your two ruling planets will be opposing each other. And this feels like a very big internal clash. A very big, your internal world clashing with your external world. A card just flipped out and I'm going to save it. Both of your rulers are at odds with each other. So there definitely could be a lot of like, you may be feeling really dualistic, really fighting yourself, really trying to figure out the truth of how you feel about something. And it's a great time to avoid big decisions. The whole week, I would say, of June 5th on, I would avoid big decisions. But observe. Keep your eyes fucking peeled, Scorpio. So that you can really, like, make the decision after the opposition. Keep your eyes peeled. Tap into that Scorpio X-ray vision, because you're not wrong. There's something like you're not wrong about it, and I don't know what that is, how that's going to manifest for each of you differently. But I tell you what, by June 11th, when Mars goes into Leo, it's just going to be a relief. Like your firepower returns. Like that gumption coming back. You really feeling it. Ten of Swords. First card out, coming out on the Selenite throne. Scorpio, Ten of Swords. And that's what I mean. That whelp. Guess that's over. Guess that's what that is. Like, but this also could be like, okay, well, this train of thought isn't, or this perspective isn't working anymore. So what's new? What's next? Some of you are definitely spending time thinking about the ways that you've been hurt, that you've been betrayed, the ways that you have felt like you've received less in some way. Like the hurt is on the forefront. That makes perfect sense. You feeling at odds with yourself, because the version of you that is allowing this opposition, because the opposition has been manifesting in you guys for long before this actual transit's going to happen. So that's why I'm like, you're already feeling it. You've already been feeling opposed, going back and forth, not feeling yourself in some way, maybe feeling defeated in some way. But this isn't a real defeat. There is like an opportunity for a new perspective, for a new way. King of Swords. That's what I'm saying. There's an opportunity for a new perspective, for a new way, for you to come in and get really logical in your mind, getting more masterful of your thoughts and your words so that you can really speak more life into your situation. There is something over that's possibly within this is okay, there's something over with an air sign, something like with someone with heavy air placements. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. There's also an end of a perspective that's happening during this Mercury in Gemini transit. There's harsh realizations coming in. King of Swords is Mercury in Gemini, and Mercury is currently retrograde in Gemini. And so there are some harsh truths. Saturn retrograde as well is like bringing in the reality of the situation. There is something, and then that eclipse should be like, hey, there's something that's undeniably over, undeniably painful, undeniably, and you're needing to really search for the tools to get this done, especially if there's somebody with heavy like Aquarius energy, but someone maybe being cold, being sharp, being mean to you, possibly I feel like some of you felt lied to about something. This could also be a manager at work. There could be like a manager may be leaving, or an authority position opens up, maybe getting passed over for an authority position, needing to be really clear about your boundaries in regards to work, your boundaries in regards to your boss. Some of you may be struggling with someone in authority, and you're needing to be really logical about it, not emotional, especially if it's work related. Lean into logic. Don't just go crying to your boss, saying, well, this person did this and this and that, and don't get emotional, don't get in your feelings. Keep it really professional. I feel like also some of you are having to really put on a strong face at work when you're feeling Ten of Swords, like feeling really hurt and betrayed, and it's important that you keep on a professional face. I mean, you guys are naturally very private. Yeah, but I feel like you guys are really juggling a lot amidst emotional turbulence. An emotional roller coaster. Going up and down. Going back and forth about your recovery, about the pain that you feel. And there is a need to be really clear and force some boundaries with yourself, with who is around you, with whoever you're reporting to, or any kind of dominating or force, or any mean force. I feel like if there's someone that's been sharp or mean to you, or has like hit below the belt in some way, your relationship with them is over. You just may be keeping yourself there and not acknowledging that. I feel like a lot of you, this is you. This King of Swords is like, you may be really cold, hard to access nowadays. Really prioritizing logic and business and boundaries and structure over your emotions. Some of you may be isolating in some way. Alright, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. 10 of Wands. So, wow, a brand new cycle in the realm of effort. You're needing to really be careful at work. Make sure you're not burning the candle at both ends. Be careful of burning out. It's important that you learn how to delegate tasks, and that's why the King of Swords is out. The King of Swords is the most logical card in the deck, and the most logical person in the court, and fair and just, and is not swayed by emotion. This very policy and procedure. And I do feel like a lot of you have been putting in a lot of work towards something, and you may be putting in a lot of work to be with an air sign, or to try to make it work with someone, or try to make it work with a fire sign possibly. But some of you, I feel like, are just going cold, and it's like, get out of a situation before you become the toxic one. I love you. Because some of you are putting in too much effort into keeping your defenses up and putting a mask on versus healing, versus actually redirecting your energy into your passions and making your goals come true. There is just a need to look at the cycles that are ending. Or not even the cycles that are ending, the cycles that are done, but you are maybe like being willfully blind in some way, or aren't looking at it, aren't talking about it. You may be keeping yourself really busy, trying to ignore something. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Gemini season 2021. We got 2 more cards, please. Take a deep breath, Scorpio, because it feels like you're putting in a lot of work. You're putting in a lot of work while you're in a lot of pain, while you aren't feeling the best. Some of you may be amidst like brand new beginnings of things, and it just, you're still trying to find your footing. Brand new ways of thought. Searching for new tools to heal. Thank you for 2 cards. 9 of Swords, 2 of Swords. Okay. So all of the cards are swords except for the 10 of Wands in the center of the deck. In the center of the reading. Bottom of the deck, the Arise. Yeah, it's time. And you guys are the Phoenix. It's time for you to really rise up from the ashes. This tarot deck, we're switching it up because Gemini needs constant stimulation, and using the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck by Matt Hughes. And he has a couple of extra cards that he added into the major arcana. But the Arise on the bottom of the deck, I hope you can see it. It's so beautiful. The Arise says, slow and steady wins the race to your next come up. It's really important that you tend to your darkness, your shadows, what you need to release, the dead weight that you can't carry on anymore, the outdated thought processes, and the outdated, I feel like also some of you are really like honing in on your wording, understanding, and that's big. We're in Gemini season. It's been coming up in every reading. It's been coming up, I mean, in my private readings. It's like, you have got to figure out how to identify what you're telling the universe to do for you. Because you're saying it with your words. The words that you're letting come out of your mouth is what you're telling the universe to create for you. Does that make sense? And so when you keep saying things like, I always choose the wrong guy, or I always choose the wrong person, and, men suck, or ain't worth shit, or something. It's just like, okay, you understand that you are just creating more work for yourself. You are perpetuating the same cycle for yourself. And I feel like in Gemini season, you guys really get to end this cycle. You get to like see the end. You get to feel the end and actually really see the light at the end of the tunnel if you really choose to take the blindfold off. Stop going back and forth. Stop vacillating. And we're going to clarify this in the plunge, because some of you have been going back and forth too long about shit that you know is painful and not for you. Or you just, it's not that it may not even be for you, it's just like there are swords in your heart that you still haven't got tended to, that you don't know how to take out. And so I would strongly suggest those of you who are looping in the mind in any kind of way that you seek out new tools for coping, because your coping skills and mechanisms are no longer working. I don't know why I'm shuffling. I love you. Let's get into it. For the full version of the video, go to Patreon.